Now I will go ahead and hit on the cameras. Now as I mentioned, pretty much the same setup for this iPad and the other one. You do have a dual camera setup that's kind of like a triple camera setup on the back. So you have a 12 megapixel wide angle lens, a 10 megapixel ultra wide sensor. You also have that LiDAR scanner. Now what that LiDAR lens does is basically allows you to pretty much see, 3D and AR and AI things. It's going to help with that. Essentially, it's going to be like a future thing. It's definitely not being used crazy amounts right now, but a lot more apps for any of those VR games and stuff. That LiDAR sensor is going to help you kind of, have some more capability in that sense. So it's going to be giving you more accurate stuff. But other than that, the actual camera lens itself actually is not that bad. Like, it's actually a very, very good camera. You can do 4K at 60 on the back of this camera, and I would pretty much allude it to something like an iPhone 11 camera. I think it's around the same thing. It's definitely, like I mentioned, not the best camera out, but I don't really see too many things to complain about. I think it's a pretty solid lens, and I think for everyone's day-to-day use, you're probably going to be totally okay with it. And I think you can even shoot videos with it. You can do anything you really want to with this lens, and I think you're probably going to have a really, really good time with it. Now, the front, you do have a 7 megapixel sensor, which is pretty interesting because I feel like they could have done a little bit better. But again, what are we going to do? You can do 1080p at 60 on the front camera here, and again, as I mentioned, I think, it gets the job done. It's definitely not like the craziest camera on the front. I feel like the back camera proportionally is better than the front camera on this thing. So it's weird they put like a really good back camera, but kind of a weird front camera. But I think it's totally okay. It's about like an iPhone XR with the front camera here. So iPhone 11 almost camera on the back, iPhone XR camera on the front. So that's pretty much how it sums that specific area up. And that pretty much covers up the camera. I think it's still a really good camera for sure. Now,